Hello everybody and welcome to the video. So here we're on the next video in the series of the Direct Path, the User Guide. We're going to look at truth and belief in this episode. We have been building up to this. Over the last two episodes we were testing truth. The idea that if truth is, you say a statement, so there's a book on the table, and if there really is a book on the table, then that thought or the statement is true because it corresponds to reality. Now, what we've done, or corresponds to something outside of thought, or out there in the real world. Now, what we've done is we've seen that with the example of an orange on the table, we can't. The thought there is an orange on the table has no referent, nothing it's pointing to. We find that there is nothing other than awareness. The orange is arising in awareness. There is no actual orange on the table. At least we can't find in direct experience any orange on the table. All we can find is awareness, different sensations arising in awareness. So there is nothing which this statement or this thought is pointing to. There's nothing outside of awareness that it's pointing to. So we've got nothing to test it against. So it's not even that it's false. It's not even that it's false. It's also not false. It's not true and it's not false. There's nothing. Thought can't say anything about it because we've got nothing to test it against. And then we did conceptual thoughts. We did a very simple one, 2 + 2 = 4. And we saw that, again, the thing it's referring to, the thing it's supposed to be pointing to, just arises in awareness. There's nothing that we can test it against. So truth has no binary truth value, not truth, thought. Thought has no binary truth value. So I don't know how many times I've said truth in this video, meaning thought, but anyway, I hope you can work it out. I probably have said it right, by the way. Maybe, I don't know, who knows. So this is important because suffering is based a lot on what you believe, your thoughts. I mean, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, a big part is about challenging your thoughts, catastrophizing. Am I catastrophizing? And weakening that weakens suffering, your belief in these thoughts. Now, belief, we're going to go on to belief now. This is something that we attach, well, it's also connected to suffering, if you believe something. But it's also something that kind of establishes who we are. When I think of myself, I think of my beliefs. I'm this person because I believe this, this, and this. It's quite a big part of what makes up the idea we have of who we are. So challenging that as a stance, not that these thoughts don't arise, but that you've got this stance of believing a certain thing, that you are this independent thing that has these certain qualities of I believe this, I don't believe this, and that's what makes me who I am. So we're challenging belief for that reason. Now, if we look at a belief, for example, the earth goes around the sun. So first there's a thought, the earth goes around the sun, and then I think, I believe that. Now, that second thought is just a thought supporting the first thought. It doesn't actually mean that you have any, there's anything more to it than that. It's just one thought, the earth goes around the sun, and another thought, I believe the earth goes around the sun. Maybe you have a feeling of conviction, maybe you have some sort of a feeling, a reality effect that this is true. But we saw in another video that just because you have a strong feeling that something's true, it doesn't point to any truth outside. It doesn't show that something really is true, just because you you have a strong feeling about it. There may even be things connected to belief that aren't so simple as this and then I believe that. Maybe somebody says that the earth doesn't go around the sun, and you're kind of a bit horrified, you're dismayed at education nowadays, or people going against science. Yes. But those are just emotions. Those are just kind of arisings too. Eventually we're going to show that thoughts arisings and other types of arisings, emotions, they are just all arisings in awareness. There's not really, it's awareness and it's awareness. There's no reason to call them different things, but that's for a later video. So these things, this feeling arises, and still they are just things arising at the moment. They're not really pointing to any established permanent belief that you have. And as you see, you change your beliefs all the time. At least I do. I think one way of training in the gym is good, and then for some reason I watch some video and then I start thinking another form is good. It's so easy for me to drop one belief and take up another one. There's nothing there other than arisings in awareness. Now, this doesn't mean that nothing's true. For one thing, the thought that arises claiming that something is, a thought is supposed to be reflecting reality outside, but doesn't really reflect anything. It's just thought arising. Now, that thought arises out of awareness and then goes back into awareness. It is just awareness. So in this sense, this awareness, the ground from which everything arises, this is called Sat-Chit-Ānanda. This is existence, consciousness, bliss. And Sat is translated normally as existence, sometimes being, but it's also translated as truth or reality, but not truth in the sense that this correspondence truth, but just this is what is. It's isness. It's reality. Awareness is reality. What's here is reality. So in this sense, it is true. And that's on the ultimate level, but also on the transactional level. We can work with truth and belief. It's good to weaken it maybe a bit, maybe reduce some of the ruminating that keeps you up at night. But yes, we fly to the moon. We know that the moon goes around the sun. All of this works in the transactional level. We don't need to abandon it. We can still participate in life normally. We're not going to suddenly become brain dead or not understand how anything works. Greg Good uses the word irony, something irony, like a loving, ironic participation in this game that's going on here. So it's something that can be enjoyed even more freely when you see that there's nothing there that keeps you separate from everything else, that you are actually part of this flow. You are the thing that observes the flow, and the flow is in fact nothing other than you. And that brings peace. So the next one, we're going to get even deeper. We're going to start looking at memory. So you're not somebody who believes a certain set of things, that you think this is the best football team in the world, and you think that, and you don't think this about religion, or you do think this about religion, and certain political views. Those are just arisings that happen. There's nothing substantial there. There's nothing permanent there. Now, we are going to look at memory next, and this is a real key to really dismantling everything, and helps at working on experiencing that we're actually living in the timeless moment rather than this flow of time. So, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.